Tell me, my Lord, when will I have the right to see you? When, where, and how I want to. Welcome back to the Masquerade of Misery. I'm back with a heavy topic, which is none other than euthanasia. People always talk about the right to life, the right to live, whether it's regarding abortion, human rights, disabilities, and so on. Yet again, it can be traced back to the life is sacred bullshit. Interestingly, when it comes to animals, however, humans make sure to minimize their suffering when they have a terminal disease, when they are in huge pain. They can be put to sleep because it's considered as mercy. Same goes when our pets are of old age, and obviously it comes with endless amount of problems. So my question is, why is it not the case with humans? Why mercy killing is not a thing anymore? If I'm the one asking the other person to put me out of my misery, to end my pain and my suffering, then why is it not legal for that person to do it? Why would they go to fucking prison? I was the one requesting it. It was my decision. And they just agreed to it, and they held me out of goodwill. Why do human rights stop when it comes to death? People always preach about the human dignity, to have respect for each other. So why cannot we have it in death? Why do we have to wait until we are shitting ourselves in our deathbed, vegetating, probably not even able to speak properly or communicate in any way, we cannot move. We are just praying for the Reaper to finally appear and take our hand. Why do we have to wait until we start decaying and rotting and go through unimaginable amount of pain? Why do we have to wait for a slow and painful fucking death? Where's dignity in this case? Most people consider human lives more valuable and more precious than that of animals. So why can they be euthanized and we cannot? That's something that puzzles me and I can't really understand, honestly. Do we put animals to sleep because we consider their lives less valuable, therefore we can just simply kill them? Or we feel sorry for them and that's why we alleviate them from all the suffering? If it's the latter, then why can't we do the same for humans? Countries that legalize euthanasia and assisted suicide unfortunately are very few, and yet again it's still the privilege of the upper class, of the richest people, because we know how fucking expensive it is, how much it costs to go through all this process and how complicated they make it with all these different conditions and legal issues and all this bullshit, especially if you have to travel to another country to have it done. They really make sure that you will just give up in the end. I'm sure that many of you have heard of MAID in Canada. That is medical assistance in dying, and that is something I can support, I must say. I've heard so many life streams, oh, now there's another way of controlling the population, and oh my god, how horrible this is, that they are just killing people just because they are homeless or mentally ill and whatnot. But I mean, what's the problem if it's the person requesting it? Because if you are of legal age, you are an adult, and you are able to make decisions for yourself and consent to things, why should we worry about MAID then? If you can decide about whether to have sex or not, or go through surgeries or not, why the fuck is it a problem if I decide that this was enough for me and I want my way out and I want to exit this bullshit? If we really have the freedom of choice, which is anyway I think is nothing but a fucking illusion, just like human rights and all this shit, but let's say we have freedom of choice, at least to a certain level, then why don't we have the freedom of choice of when, where and how we wish to die? Why is it so important to keep us here, to force us to continue living when we really don't fucking want to anymore? Because if someone really is desperate to die, they will find a way. They will do anything possible. They will do everything in their power to end their lives. So they will end up committing suicide, which we know is usually fucking gruesome and horrible. And there are many failed attempts as well, which will also increase the person's suffering because they are still here and probably they have damaged themselves physically or mentally even more. So it will make them hate life even more. So why should we let these poor people have these attempts and choose between all these horrible, gory fucking methods of dying when they could just have it in a peaceful and easy way with medical assistance? So I believe in the right to peaceful, easy, painless death. All of us should have this right because it's just as fundamental as the right to life. Because, you know, if the babies in the womb have the right to be born and see the light, then once we grow up, why don't we have the same right to end it the way we want to? I really don't hope for things anymore, but let's say that hopefully in the future and not in the very far future, all of us will have access and the right to euthanasia and medically assisted suicide. Just like animals can be put to sleep to be alleviated from their misery and pain. But as things are progressing in this world, instead of gaining more freedom and rights, what we are experiencing is quite the opposite. They are being taken away bit by bit, even that small amount that we had left. Because 1984 and the Brave New World are slowly but surely unfolding right in front of our eyes. So guys, that is my opinion on this topic. Let me know what you think in the comments if you wish, and come and pray with me. Praise the Reaper. May he come for us when we cry out for him. When kurva anyát a szar. Kurva geci vibráló mocskos cigány kezdi!